So Dr. Brand, what exactly is a concussion?
Concussion is a form of mild traumatic brain injury that happens anytime there's a blow to the head or a blow that transmits force up to the head.
And how frequent are they?
The CDC, the Center for Disease Control in the United States, estimates there may be as many as 3.8 million concussions in the U.S. related to recreation every year. But the true incidence isn't really known because it's estimated that 50% of concussions may not even be reported.
Okay. And what are the signs and symptoms of a concussion?
Some of the common signs and symptoms of a concussion could be someone who has a headache, which is the most common symptom of a concussion. Other signs that someone may be concussed would be that someone has difficulty with balance or remembering things. Maybe they have some nausea or difficulty concentrating.
Can you get those symptoms right away, or does it take a while for that to happen?
The response to a concussion is variable. Some of the symptoms can come on right away, but they may not necessarily come on immediately.
Okay. So is there anything that I can do to prevent a concussion, either in myself or in my children?
There's nothing we can do to entirely do away with the risk of concussion in sport. The best thing we can do is try to decrease the risk by making sure we do things like playing with good sportsmanship, following the rules, and making sure that we're using proper safety equipment.
Okay. What should I do if I think that either I've suffered a concussion or one of my kids or one of their teammates have suffered a concussion?
If you or one of your children suffer a concussion, or even if you suspect you may have suffered a concussion, the safest thing to do is, when in doubt, sit them out.
And where should I take them?
The best thing to do if you suspect a concussion is to get evaluated by someone who is licensed and certified in managing sports concussions.
How do I know when I can go back to playing, or my kids can go back to playing football or soccer? Or
no one should return to play until they're cleared by somebody who is licensed and certified in the management of sports concussions. And that decision is often made by a multidisciplinary sports medicine team who will evaluate you on a number of factors, including your symptoms and your signs. They may test your balance, they may test your memory, and they may do this over a series of visits to chart your progress. There may initially be a period of what we call physical cognitive rest, basically resting your brain so it has a chance to heal. And then generally, once you are symptom-free at rest, there will be a graded return to activity with more and more exercise, starting with some light aerobic exercise and moving gradually through sport-specific drills and even full contact practice before you're safe to return to the game.
And if you go back too early?
If you return to sport too early after a concussion, there's a risk that the injury may not heal as quickly, and there's also a low risk of a highly catastrophic injury in youth athletes if you return while your brain is still concussed.
So it seems like a lot of parents are getting kind of paranoid about concussions because of the frequency with what they're happening. Should we discourage our kids from playing sports?
Not at all. Exercise and sports are an important part of developing as a youngster, and exercise is something that we should all be doing throughout our entire lifespan. There's no way to completely eliminate risk in most of any activities we do every day. So the best we can do is to try to understand the risks and understand how to minimize them and recognize the signs and symptoms that mean maybe we need to rest for a period of time so that we can remain active our entire lives.
You actually have to hit your head or get knocked out in order to suffer a concussion?
This is a common misconception about concussion. In fact, you don't have to even hit your head to get a concussion. The brain sits in the cerebral spinal fluid within the skull, and anytime you hit the head, there's a chance that that brain may be injured inside the skull. However, even if you hit another part of your body and that force transmits up to your brain, there's a chance the brain could be injured that way as well.
So Dr. Brand, is there any time when somebody should seek immediate medical attention if they've suffered a concussion or think they've suffered a concussion?
An athlete should seek immediate medical attention if there's certain signs or symptoms, such as if one pupil is larger than the other, if they have repeated vomiting or weakness, numbness, lack of coordination, or loss of consciousness.